I'm confident in our team. I think our scrims are going very well, and I think I think we're just quite good. I think we're a team that has more belief than expectations in that matter. And we come into this tournament, we're playing very well last few weeks, and we feel like our scrims are going well, and feel like we can do very well at this tournament for sure.
Well, I'm joined with Dylan Falco ahead of MSI play-in starting. This is, well, first and foremost, this is your first time in Canada for an international event. I'm sure this feels a little bit extra special to you. I know everyone's talking about how JoJo comes to EU and then gets to play in his home crowd. It's also your home crowd. You're the first real NA export. So how does it feel to represent Canada at this tournament?
Yeah, it feels amazing. I've been coaching for over 10 years and I've been to a lot of international events, but never one in my home country. So I really want my team to do well and perform well. And it would mean a lot to me if we were to make a run at this tournament for sure.
Yeah, I mean, last year you guys gave EU their best international performance at an MSI since like 2020, I think. So
Yeah,
yeah, it definitely seems to be G2's tournament. G2 is coming in this year though, looking a little bit different than last year, with the main difference like the players and finishing silver instead of gold. Um, I'll start at first with a lot of the criticisms that G2 have gotten, where it feels like with the removal of Mickey and the bringing in of Labrov, you gained some strength, but you lost the creativity that really made G2 G2. And with Skewmont versus Yike, it seems like you're not really playing around caps like you did last year. So I kind of wanted to get your impression on like this new look of G2 and how you think it matches up going into this tournament.
yeah. Obviously we made some big changes this year. I think that the roster running this year definitely has different strengths and different weaknesses, and it's taken us a bit more time to kind of adapt and understand what my team needs to succeed. At the same time, I think we reached both grand finals through the winners bracket, so I think we're well aware we can be one of the best, if not the best Western team, or the best European team on our good days. But yeah, we definitely had some difficulty bringing it together for the grand finals both times. I'm confident in our team. I think our scrims are going very well, and I think I think we're just quite good. So Europe is also like mu so much more competitive than last year. So I know it looks great when we win what 7 championships or whatever back to back, but if the league strength goes up and we have a couple bad days, I don't think that necessarily means that as G2 as a team we're that much weaker. So um, I want to see us playing on stage against the international teams before we can really take a look at how things have changed.
I do want to ask you about like expectations in general. It felt like going into the World Championship last year, you guys performed really, really well at MSI, and then people just have this thing with G2 where they're like, "Oh, we don't think G2 has enough firepower to like get above that line," and the fact that you guys did make it to the winners finals, to the grand finals through the winners side, but didn't weren't able to close it out. I know there's a lot of expectations from the fans internally in your workshops at the beginning of the year. I'm sure like those are things that you guys talk about, and maybe a little bit of worry for like Labrov, who this is his second international tournament. Skewmon, this is his first international tournament. There's a lot of pressure on G2 inherently, and it seems like it's just added on this year as well. How do you like manage expectations within the team itself and put your team in like a situation to play the best that they can?
Yeah, we expect to be competitive and we expect to fight for championships at any tournament we go to. That doesn't mean it's a stressful level of expectation. And it also can be excitement and the will to win and the belief as well that we can do very well. I think we're a team that has more belief than expectations in that matter. And we come into this tournament, we're playing very well last few weeks, and we feel like our scrims are going well and feel like we can do very well at this tournament for sure.
Could you elaborate a little bit on like having more belief than expectation? Is that specifically for like this tournament or just in general as this like roster?
Like for us, if we feel we're one of the like a very strong team and we're practicing very well and we're learning a lot and we're improving and our systems are good, um, losing one official match doesn't change who we are as a team. Like for example, losing the grand finals, we still think we come to this tournament as one of the stronger teams. I know it changes a lot of the narratives, of course, and it changes the official results and who comes into this tournament as a champion, but we still qualified here, right? We made it here. As we've made to all the international events for the past few years, so we just expect to do well, right? We're actually quite confident.
All right, you're facing Furia, and it, they Furia and BLG in the play-ins if you beat them, right? Um, those two teams have a little bit of history with G2, specifically like Furia with their head coach Thinkard. He is the one that knocked you guys out on NRG. I don't know if there's like any sort of um, will to like get revenge on like a coach who played well against you guys. Is there anything like that, or is it just NA being like, oh yeah, remember he beat G2 like 2 years ago?
I actually didn't know that. That's cool. I think he's done well then in Brazil, and I think we're favorites coming to the match, and I hope we do well.
Is there any like extra motivation against BLG? I know they were the team that sort of was like stopped you guys in that 2-2 match both times at Worlds the past 2 years. Is there like extra motivation there?
Yeah, BLG one for sure. I feel like we've always played them so close. I think we played them like three, four times in the past couple of years. Elimination match at Worlds, both years, which I feel like was probably a pretty difficult match for elimination, especially in this past years as they made the finals. And in all of these, I think we took games. We went the final game. We were often like ahead in the last game, for example. So that one is always very exciting for me. Always want to get our revenge against BLG. Always felt like if we show our best gameplay, we will win those sets. But they're obviously quite good. So it's also a different BLG and a different G2. So I know they struggled a bit more this year than last year. So I'm excited for that one if we manage to play them for sure.
All right. Uh, I do want to talk about the fact that this tournament is fearless. Last year it wasn't. And one of the things that everyone was kind of expecting from you specifically is like, oh, you're going to cook, right? You're known to have a lot of creativity in draft and figuring out certain angles. Caps as well, famously, Dylan, pick me vein, you know? Um, but we really haven't seen that this year from G2. Is that more of because the team is like kind of trying to figure out its identity with the introduction of two new players? I don't know how much you can talk about that, without giving away too much.
I think we always have interesting draft structures prepared, right? I think we showed quite a bit within the playoffs. Maybe they don't become as much signature picks because they just get played once. I know we played stuff like Anivia and Warwick in champs like this in quite a few scenarios. So as always, we have our special picks for this tournament as well. It's just whether the actual scenarios come to bust them out. But I think maybe also the fact that all teams need to kind of dig deep to find other champions in game fours and game fives maybe make these things feel a bit less special. But I don't feel like we're not being creative at all, to be honest.
All right. How does Fearless like affect the way you structure rosters? We've seen teams like CFO have 6-man roster, having one player play the tanks and the other one play the carries. Just as a whole, do you think that this change, like now that it's moving forward, does it actually change the way that people might pick up players, might pick up multiple players, or is that too early to tell?
I could see there's only one sub, right, for league competitive play. I could see someday some teams using a sixth man to some benefit. I don't think it's something like we'd be looking to do. I think it would require a lot of integration, a lot of understanding of how to actually do it. And the payoff might not be worth it, as usually one player is just performing better than the other. You would have to have players that are very close in actual win rate skill on the team. So I think it's an interesting idea. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was used at some point to success, but um, it's not something we're looking to do right now.
All right. And lastly, just maybe a few words to the EU fans who are hoping for G2 to make them proud again. Just last
Yeah.
couple words.
Actually, we're feeling very good going to the tournament. I'm very excited to play in Canada. And I hope the G2 fans can watch us and cheer us on and hopefully make a good run at MSI this year.
All right. Thank you so much, Dylan.
Great. Thank you.
It's that time of year again where we're at MSI. Finally, man, it feels like it took a very long time. But we're here, we're at MSI. And yeah, just getting out the interviews. It's interesting that G2 feel confident. They feel like they believe that they can do it. Obviously, last year they had a really good MSI. We'll see what happens this year. Can they actually beat BLG? That's what I'm looking at. Is Thinkard gonna do the impossible and beat them again? Like, who knows? It's just exciting. This MSI format is really cool. It's just like getting into the environment. I'm really excited, and yeah, I think most people have more faith in Mad Koi than MKoi than they do in G2, but I don't know, something about this team, something about just like having caps on your team. It's just it's really hard to count him out, but we'll see. He doesn't have Mickey this year, so I think last year Mickey at MSI was like one of their best players. His Poppy was amazing. Anyways, it's not last year; it's this year. Yeah, just subscribe so you can see all the interviews that I'm going to be posting during MSI.